All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, Mayo Media Network? We're back with the Friday NBA show brought to you by my guy, Hamwich, like we were last week. A little double duty here. Tambo's working on some things behind the scenes as we lead up to the Waste Management Phoenix Home Super Bowl weekend here. We got our party out there, but, man, I'll bring you in. We got the pump-up music rocking before the show here, Hamwich. You gave out the Stone Cold Locks last night. Looking to run it back here, man. Happy Friday. How's everything? I'll bring you in. What's going on, brother?
Oh, it's a great day. It's a Friday. I got Mark chirping me in the chat already, not talking about OG. OG wasn't optimal. Alex Caruso was optimal. We gave it out here on the show and looking forward to it again. Looking forward to this slate. Looking forward to this weekend. Looking forward to it all. So let's get right into it.
Looking forward to it all is right. If you guys are new, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And if you are not a member yet, head over to SHIPITNation.com. Use that promo code right here, Mayo, get you 10% off for life. Whatever package you do choose there, and you can grab our slate plan that I see our guy Hebrew in the chat who continues to crush these basketball NBA streets and the showdown content. Each and every night, you can check out his slate plan, get his thoughts, get our core plays, of course, and then all of our content projections tools for every other sport that we offer. Again, use that promo code MAYO, get you 10% off for life, whatever package you do choose, and then join us in the Discord where many, many knowledgeable members and our coordinators are also in there as well, talking all things sports, lineup construction, game theory, things like that, sweating out with everyone in there. But let's jump right in. Hamwich here. First game on tap is a pretty good one here. Massive 245 total. Just a 2-point spread. We got a lot of news in this game, actually. Two big pieces of news right in this game. DeAndre Hunter's still out for Atlanta here. But on the Dallas side here, you got Kyrie out, you got Maxi Kleber out, and you got Dwight Powell out. On the Hawks side, Trae Young and Clint Capella both questionable here. Massive total. 2-point spread here. Luka's projected for over 70 here, and he's just 11-3 on this slate in a game that should be up and down. One of the best games of the slate to kick us off. Where are you going, man?
Yeah, it should be a good DFS game. I mean, obviously, we got to wait on the Trae Young news. That's big news. No Kyrie is big news on the flip side. I mean, a 70 burger. I don't know if we've seen a 70 all season long, for a projection, and you got to love Luka. Got called out, after the game the other night. They had another huge letdown. He's tossing fans himself. I think Luka gets back on track tonight, has something to prove, especially with no Kyrie. I also like Tim Hardaway Jr. at only 5,700. He should get the start tonight with no Kyrie, and we know what he does when Hardaway gets in. He's chucking. So I do like Hardaway tonight at 5,700. I think that's a great value piece. Derek Lively, also $5,000. I think that's good. Like you said earlier, there's two other bigs. We don't think they're very good bigs, but there's two other, big men, so to speak, that aren't going to be playing, so he can get a lot of those ancillary pieces. And then I know our guy Hebrew's in the chat. I haven't read his slate plan for today, but he's typically all over Jalen Johnson. And I really like Jalen Johnson tonight, power forward eligible, 7,300. If my guy Hebrew's on him, if he's in the slate plan, I'm going to jump all over that because I like Jalen Johnson myself. But this is an exciting game. I saw Mark say he's looking forward to stacking this one up, and I think he's right in saying that. Going to be some fireworks early in this one. It tips at 7 p.m. Eastern. Really like this game tonight. Those four main pieces that I just alluded to.
Yeah, great game to kick us off here. One lower owned piece that I don't think is the craziest play here, especially with the injuries on the Dallas side, is a guy like Derek Doan Jr. here. Gets a very good matchup here. Power forwards have crushed this Atlanta team here. Obviously, that helps guys like what seems to be a chalky Grant Williams here, right? At just 3.4K. Really don't love a chalky Grant Williams, but again, he is super cheap here at 3.4K. Derek Lively, I like quite a bit here at 5K flat. I mean, centers have smashed this Atlanta team all year long. We've been picking on centers against this Atlanta team. And on the flip side here, same thing against Dallas, right? And I mean, if Clint Capella misses this game, Onyeka Okongwu here is a stone cold lock for me at 4.6K in this first game here. I really love him. Tim Hardaway going to be very, very chalky. Obviously, anytime Kyrie sits, right, Hardaway is going to chuck his shots. He's going to take the shots there. The thing with Hardaway is he's very reliant on his scoring, but he should be in a good spot here to score and get a lot of good opportunities, right, with the defense crashing in on Luka, leave for a lot of open shots there for Hardaway. So really like Hardaway. Obviously, Luka, a very, very good spend up on the slate. Probably the highest owned stud, at least how it's projected right now on the slate. You got to talk to yourself. Are you going to play Giannis in that late night game? Well, not late night, but the last game on the slate here that we'll break down. Or are you going to play Luka, right? Giannis coming off back-to-back 80 burgers, have historically smashed Cleveland as well. Luka at just 11-3 here in this matchup against Atlanta. 245 total, close spread, should be up and down. Not a lot of defense. Obviously, it's a very good matchup for Luka as well, and he's basically matchup proof. So that is a talking point, Luka versus Giannis, some of these other studs on the slate, which I do think is an interesting one, but can't go wrong with Luka here. Jalen Johnson does have a very good matchup here as well. Power forwards have crushed this Dallas team as well. Dallas ranks bottom 5 in the league, I believe, against power forwards here. Jalen Johnson, especially if Trae Young misses, I mean, would be a smash play here. Obviously, DeJounte Murray would be a very, very good play here, too, if Trae Young didn't miss. Trae Young does play. I think he's a fine option here at 9,400 in this game. Not the greatest matchup, and he hasn't been the best, but could see this game go back and forth here. Long-winded way of saying my favorite plays in this game, definitely Luka. Really like Luka a lot. Jalen Johnson, I think, is an interesting play here for sure. Tim Hardaway and then Derek Lively is kind of where I'm looking. And then a lower-owned piece from the Dallas side that's going to get his minutes is Derek Jones Jr. at 4,400. He should play upper 20s minutes. He has shown a ceiling earlier this year, and I think that's a nice pivot off of a Grant Williams at the same position there as well. Let's jump into the next game here. We have Phoenix and Indiana. In terms of the total in this one, 244, so just a 1-point difference from that first game, right? Still a close spread here, just a 4-point spread in this one. In terms of injury, you got still Halliburton still out here. Bobo is out, questionable for Eric Gordon. Jalen Smith is questionable as well. Those are really the only two guys that have any significance of being questionable on this game. Not a lot of ownership going on this game compared to that Dallas-Atlanta game. Where are you going, how much here? Because it is still a big game total, pretty close spread here. Obviously not quite as much injury news in this one, but TJ McConnell, 5'5", Miles Turner coming off a big game there, Kevin Durant. Where are you going here, Phoenix, Indy?
Yeah, I love this game as well. And Indiana, big win last night, blew out the 76ers. That was very hurtful. I saw my guy Hebrew in the chat. You know, they just basically quit after 36 minutes. They probably weren't going to come back anyway, but man, at least give my guys an opportunity to come back. But in any event, going to be another good game. We saw Siakam. They left him in there long enough to get him his triple-double last night. He went from 7,100 to 7,500. I'm a little lower on Siakam tonight than I was. Let's just talk about my two favorite plays in this game. And to me, it's going to be a Devin Booker type night. Love the fact that he's point guard and shooting guard eligible. $9,300 combo guard. Indiana, one of the worst teams defensively against combo guards in the league. Give me some Devin Booker. Really like him tonight. Coming off, I think, of 65 DraftKings points performance. He's my favorite son. Number 2 for me would be another combo guard, another volume shooter, Bradley Beal, 6,900. And then I am seeing TJ McConnell come in at 13% owned. And point guards against the Suns are a thing. But I'm going to flip the script a little bit. I'm going to go Andrew Nembhard, who I like better tonight than TJ McConnell. Going to come in about a third of the ownership, a little less expensive as well. He's also point guard, shooting guard eligible. Really like Nembhard tonight. in this matchup, especially if Nembhard gets the start. We'll obviously want to wait and see that. Then the last person I want to touch on in this game is going to be Miles Turner, $6,300 last night. He had a really good night last night. I think he goes back to the well tonight again, still $6,300. I really like this game with my favorite being Booker, Nembhard, Bill, and then I'll round it off with Turner. No Siakam and Durant for me tonight. I think you could certainly get there if you wanted to, but I'm going to focus on those guys I just mentioned.
Yeah, Sixers should no heat, no heart there. Leave it to me, right? I ended up playing Embiid on which would have been my best team last night, even after coming on the show and saying I was going to be under on Embiid. He kind of just fit my build. I did a little stack there, and leave it to me. Embiid goes for 964 million points the game before, and then I jump on him, and he literally looks like you're skating on the freaking icebergs out in the Atlantic Ocean. When I played him there, so that was a little hurtful. But I'm a little different than you in this game. I do think Kevin Durant is a good play here. I definitely do like Devin Booker over Kevin Durant here for the $100 difference, but I still think Kevin Durant's fine. I actually like Pascal Siakam quite a bit here. Carlisle said he wants to get Siakam more involved, right? Especially with Halliburton off the court. You saw it last night in that game. And now Phoenix here is missing a lot of wing defenders here. I think Siakam could be in for a big night here again at 7,500 here. They need him, right? They really need him on this team, especially in this game. They're going to need him here with no Halliburton. I still think this price is too cheap at 7,500 for Siakam. So I really like Siakam. I really like Devin Booker. I think you can ping pong those two back and forth. I think you can see them both. They both have very good matchups here. I'm out on pretty much the rest of this game. I do think Andrew Nembhard is a solid play at 5,200. It's basically a direct pivot off of TJ McConnell, which I do like that as well. I mean, TJ McConnell is going to get the ownership, and I don't mind jumping right down to Andrew Nembhard, who's been playing good basketball. So I do like that pivot. Really like Siakam, really like Booker, and then Nembhard. I think TJ McConnell's fine, but again, I'm Nembhard like yourself over McConnell here. And then I do think Kevin Durant's a solid play as well. Not really going to get to anyone else in this game personally myself. I think you could take a shot at Nurkic here, but it's just tough. I mean, these Suns are liking the small ball lineup here, and I don't really think they need to run Nurkic out here a ton of minutes. They're fine just running with the smaller lineup. So out on that, I really like those other plays quite a bit in this game. Let's jump into the last 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern time game here. It's Charlotte, it's Houston, 224 total in this one. 5-point spread from an injury standpoint in this one. Gordon Hayward remains out. Tari Eason is out. You got Jabari Smith, Jason Tate, and Reggie Bullock is questionable here. Jason Tate, Jabari Smith news is a little bit intriguing here and does make some impact, right, on some of these teams here. You got Sengun right now at 8,600 in obviously a smash matchup here, and he's been absolutely crushing, right, in tough matchups. Utah, Boston, Portland. Went for 69 against Utah. Went for 57.5 against Boston, which is a very tough matchup there. Now he's 8.6K in arguably the best matchup against centers in all of basketball here against Charlotte. Are you getting to Sengun at 8.6K? And then talk on these other pieces like these Cam Whitmore's, Jalen Greens from the Rocket side. And then are you going to go back to Brandon Miller, who has been playing very good basketball lately? Where are you going? Houston, Charlotte here.
Yeah, another juicy game. I mean, the Hornets can't guard anybody. My boy Kyle Lowry, who probably will never play a game for Charlotte, he's not playing tonight either, but it's kind of weird seeing his name pop up under the Charlotte. But in any event, yeah, I mean, I think Goon is the best play of the night. Alperen Sengun, that is 8-6 against this Charlotte team that can't guard anybody, much less can't guard centers. They're going to have PJ Washington down there trying to man the middle. Nick Richards trying to man the middle as well. And I think Sengun will eat their lunch. He's my favorite play in this game. I like LaMelo Ball. I think LaMelo Ball has a really good game, but man, 9.8's a tough price tag to pay, in my opinion. I mean, he had a dud the other night at 9,600, and what DraftKings do, they decided to raise his price against Houston, which I'm not a fan of. But I do think LaMelo is a good play. Probably won't get too much of him just because he is 9,800. And Nashville, Tennessee native Brandon Miller, 6,300. He's been balling out there. I don't mind him tonight. And then my last play that I would like, I don't like those Cam Whitmores of the world, your boy Dylan Brooks. I don't like those guys. They just, for whatever reason, they don't ever seem to pop off. They probably will tonight because I'm talking trash. But last I want to mention is Fred VanVleet. I like Fred tonight. I think he's got a good matchup. LaMelo's not out there to play defense. I think Fred has a very good game. I mean, this guy, go ahead and lock him in for 35 minutes a game. He's going to shoot it 15-plus times. We need some of those ancillary pieces, but really like FEV tonight and Sengun for the Rockets. 7,700 on Fred. That would kind of be the extent of it for me.
Yeah, I mean, I like this game quite a bit. I'm out on LaMelo Ball, no thanks. I mean, you want to slander, I slander Dylan Brooks a lot, but what he is very good at is transition defense. He's a very good defender. That's a quick no thanks on me on LaMelo. He deals with minutes concerns anyways, right? I mean, one game he'll play 36. Next game he'll come and play 28, 29, 30 minutes, right? Lose a good rotation there. So at 9,800, much rather just go to other plays on this slate. For me, this game starts with Sengun and Brandon Miller. Love both these guys. No Rozier here for Charlotte. Brandon Miller, I mean, they're going to let this kid run. You're seeing it, right? I mean, he's taking the shot, 17 shot attempts last game, played 39 minutes, absolutely went crazy, shot 10 3-pointers as well. Granted, he did shoot 50% from three. That's going to pad the stats anytime you do that, but he's picking up rebounds. He's picking up assists. He's getting hustle plays, and a 6.3K here in this matchup. I really, really like Brandon Miller. Sengun, stone cold, I mean, smash play for me. He's playing great basketball right now. Now gets to go up against a guy like Nick Richards here on the other end, who he should absolutely bully. I love Sengun, love Brandon Miller, and then I'm with you, Fred VanVleet. 7,700 here. He should chuck. I mean, he's going to play all the minutes he can handle. He's going to take close to 20 shot attempts, 10.3 or 10, at least 10 3-point attempts in each of the last three games there. So Fred VanVleet, Sengun, Brandon Miller, I think you could do a three-man stack of this game. The only issue is, man, we got three games that we just talked about here, Hamwich, that, yeah, obviously those first two games have a lot of higher totals here with injury news, but this game's pretty juicy as well. Charlotte doesn't play a lick of defense here. And you're going to have to pick and choose your spots because it is three very good games to kick it off. Those are my three favorite plays here in this spot. I think you could get to some value plays like a Cam Whitmore. I saw some rumblings of Amen Thompson here in the chat. His minutes he's showing a ceiling. He's showing to be good. Once he gets the minutes, it's just you're taking a gamble on the minutes there. I mean, if he plays upper 20s, low 30s minutes, I think he could go for 30 plus here, which would be a smash play at 4,400. It's just I don't think his minutes are very secure. And I think that's why you're seeing Cam Whitmore, right, who has a little bit more security on his minutes, get the ownership, at least how it stands now. So if you do have a take on that, I think you could take a shot. But for me, I'm playing 1 to 3 teams. I don't think I can get to Whitmore or Amen Thompson. It's really those big three for me personally here. Let's jump into the next game here. We have the Clippers and Toronto 30 minutes after those first game locks here. It's the standalone 30 game locking. And then obviously the next three games all lock at that 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern time window. In this game, Paul George is questionable. You got Poto and Quickly out on the Toronto side. So what does that do? That opens up spots like Scotty Barnes, right, who should have more usage here in this game. It's probably gets a point Scotty here tonight at 8.5K here against the Clippers. Gary Trent's probably going to start here again. With that, you got RJ Barrett. Talk about this game. The really only guy getting a ton of ownership here is this game is Scotty Barnes at 8.5. Are you going to play a guy like Scotty Barnes in this game who just went for 60 DraftKings points? In terms of the total, 236 total, 8-point spread. So it is pretty high total overall with some injury news, preferably on the Toronto side. Where are you going?
Yeah, I don't like a whole too lot in this game. Quickly being out, I think I kind of like Schroeder. You didn't mention Schroeder at 5'2". He could get the start. I mean, if he gets the start at point guard, he should have the ball in his hands. Interested in your take on that. I don't mind Schroeder at 5'2". Mark, there's not a Toronto center that I would consider tonight myself. I just think that this LA team is a pretty good basketball team, and so I don't like too many guys for Toronto. Scotty Barnes, I think, is a fine option with no Quickly. obviously with no OG, with no Siakam. So don't mind him. He's going to have to do a lot in order to keep it close. So definitely a good play if you want to go there. My favorite Clipper, I normally don't say this, your boy, former Indiana Pacer, great PG-13, Paul George, my favorite Clipper. But, man, to me, it's just such hit or miss. With that big three, any given night, any one of those guys can go off. Just looking at what I'm looking at over here, PG-13 for me. Dennis Schroeder would be my number 2, and then Barnes would be my 3rd, but I doubt I get there.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to monitor. Paul George is questionable. So if he sits, I do like Kawhi Leonard quite a bit, much like the industry will as well at 8,600. I think that's an easy slide over. You can play them both at small forward. They're $200 apart. And Kawhi Leonard's coming off a massive game where he absolutely dusted the Lakers, right? Playing good basketball. I agree with you. If Paul George does play, I do like Paul George here in this game. I really like RJ Barrett here at 7,100. He's playing good basketball here. Should definitely help him with no Quickly in there. And yeah, Schroeder should start here. The anticipated starters in this one are Schroeder, Gary Trent, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, and then Jonte Porter. I can't get to Jonte Porter here. I mean, his minutes are all over the place. He's going up against these Clippers here. I just think it's a brutal matchup. I can't get to Thad Young either at 3.9K. There's just, I mean, if you knew you're going to get upper 20s minutes from a guy at 3.9K, like a Thad Young, like we saw last game, right, against Memphis, where he got 26 minutes, I think he'd be a great play. But you just can't. I mean, they got they got Chris Boucher, Thad Young, and Jonte Porter all basically scrambling for those center minutes there. Jonte's going to start, but again, if he's struggling, foul trouble, anything like that, Thad Young comes in, and then they got Boucher as well there to take it. So for me in this game, Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, Kawhi Leonard are my 3 favorite plays. Paul George, if he plays, I think is a good play as well. I'd prefer Paul George then over Leonard if Paul George does play. If Paul George is out, obviously it gives a boost to James Harden and Kawhi. Both of them become really good plays. Either way, Kawhi Leonard, I think, is a solid play here in this game as well. Let's jump into the next game here. 30 minutes after that game, an hour after those first 3 games that we talked about here. It's Orlando and it's Memphis. In terms of a total in this one, 213, lowest total on the board. In terms of injury news in this one, Santi Aldama's questionable, but Luke Kennard's back off injury report. Markelle Fultz is back. Jonathan Isaac is back. Garrett Harris remains out. Derrick Rose remains out. Not a ton here in this game, but Jonathan Isaac at 3.2K, I do think is a pretty chalky value play here, at least projected to be 20+% owned right here. Man, he's just not playing minutes. I mean, he hasn't played over 20 minutes at all yet, dating back to December. Are you going to play a guy like Jonathan Isaac, maybe a Jaren Jackson? But outside of that, I mean, I don't really have a ton of interest in this game personally. There's 7 games on the slate. You can't play them all. We talked about 3 very good spots to start, and then some of those plays from that Toronto game. I think this is a cross-off, but do you see something I'm missing?
Yeah, the thing to do the other night was just play all the Grizzlies value and then jam in, I think, Giannis, Embiid, and Cat, and then you printed money a couple nights ago. But just looking at this roster, I mean, this Memphis roster is so depleted. But they went into Miami 2 nights ago, got a W, and just looking at their point guard situation, they don't have one. They don't have a good one anyway. So where am I going with that? John Conchar had a very good game the other night, only 4,400 point guard eligible. I don't think he's a true point guard, but he's point guard eligible on DraftKings, played 30 minutes, got a double-double the other night. You know, if he can get you 10 points, 10 rebounds again and get to 30 points, I think he pays off his tag. He would be my favorite guard for the Grizzlies. I'm not going to Gilliard. I don't think I'm going to go to Scottie Pippen Jr., although Jr. did put up 31 DraftKings points the other night. I don't know if that was because they were winning or what, but I mean, would love to see what his minutes are going to be. At 3,300, he might be an option. And then on the other side, it would be the dynamic duo of Banchero and Wagner, Franz Wagner, against this Memphis team who can't guard the forward position. Don't mind either one of those. Probably would right now just look at it like Franz a little bit more, just because he is cheaper. The one thing I would say about Franz is coming back from an injury. They haven't fully ramped him up yet, but if he plays a close game, which they haven't done since he's been back, I think that would go up. So don't mind him at 7,100. But, just talking through this, Nades, I do want to look at and kind of see what, kind of coach speak we can get on Scottie Pippen. If he's going to play 20, 25 minutes at 3,300, this is a guy that can, score some buckets, get some rebounds and assists. So I don't mind him at 3,300. Still like Conchar. And then a little bit of interest in Vince Williams. I mean, 6,500, goodness gracious, 6,500 for Vince Williams. But he's going to play 30 minutes. He's going to chuck it 10 times a game. He's going to get some rebounds. So I don't hate this game, but like you said, we're running out of games to cross off, and I like a few pieces in this one as well.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't really like this team. I don't like picking on Orlando, and Memphis's defense has been pretty good here too. I mean, Vince Williams at 6.5K is going to play all the minutes he can handle. He's coming off his best game of the season, I believe, right? 25 real life. Last game, picked up 5 rebounds, 4 assists there. Shot the ball 10 times, but he did go 8 from 10 from the field and 5 of 6 from 3-point to score those 41 DraftKings points. I mean, he shot very well to get there, and now gets a pretty tough matchup here against Orlando. Overall, I mean, I don't like this game at all. I think you could play Scottie Pippen Jr. as a value piece at 3,300. I mean, if he gets mid-20s minutes like he got last game against Miami, I think he'd be fine. But outside of that, not a ton of interest here. I mean, Scottie Pippen, he did have 6 rebounds, 6 assists as well, which definitely helped his stats there. I don't know if that's going to be a very consistent stat line there for him. I mean, he shot 5 of 7 from the field, made his only 3-point, and then picked up 6 assists, 6 rebounds as well. But he is a hustle player. He is 3.3K here. I think he'd be a fine MME value play. I just don't know if I can get to him on a main team. Overall, not a ton of interest in this game from me personally. Can't play every game, and that's one I am crossing off personally. Let's jump into this next game where we did get some news. Midday downgrade for Zion Williamson here, which doesn't usually bode too well for NBA. Usually these guys that end up sitting. In terms of a total in this one, 241 total, so it's up there with those other games, just a 2-point spread. From an injury standpoint, obviously you got the midday downgrade there on Zion. And then you got Trey Murphy is back. Cody Zeller is back as well. Outside of Zion, I mean, there's not a ton of injury news in this one, but Zion were to miss, you got to give a boost to CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, guys like Trey Murphy would get a boost here. It's a big spread in this one. Where are you going? OKC, New Orleans.
Yeah, just thinking about this game and thinking about who I like in this game. I mean, yeah, obviously Zion midday downgrade is concerning. My favorite Pelican in this game would be CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum has been firing that thing up there. I think he's shot, I think it's 7+ threes, and I want to say like 10 or 12 straight games, something like that. So he's chucking at all costs. And with Zion out, I would like him to chuck even more, get some more shots up there. Kind of one of my stands that I'm taking tonight is New Orleans versus the point guard position. They're dynamite, one of the best in the league at limiting the point guard. Obviously, SGA will have the ball in his hand a whole bunch. I'm going to be lower on SGA than the field is. I mean, we're only showing sub 10% ownership, but I don't really like SGA tonight, especially going on the road to New Orleans where they're very good defensively against the point guard. So give me some CJ McCollum. They low-key benched Joe Val the other night. I don't know if that was what that was about, but if that's going to be a thing, then Larry Nance Jr. at 3.9 I think comes into play. And then I want to play my favorite Thunder piece tonight. Is going to be Jalen Williams at the small forward, power forward position, 7,000 flat. I do like Jalen Williams tonight. He'd be my favorite piece of the Thunder, and that's going to be my stand. Is going to be I'm going to be fading SGA. Probably in my 20 max, I probably won't have any SGA tonight.
Yeah, no, great breakdown here. I'm with you on CJ McCollum. I actually also like Herb Jones quite a bit here. He's showing a ceiling. He's 4.6K. No Zion, which I'm basically going under the assumption Zion isn't playing here tonight. I do think that helps a guy like Herb Jones here at his price point, so I don't hate that. Definitely like CJ, definitely like Ingram if Zion are out here. Josh Giddey, I don't think, is the worst play at 5'9". He's at least shown a ceiling, but again, he's not going to play a ton of minutes. He's got to be very productive when he is getting those minutes. SGA, I don't know if I can get to SGA at 10-1 here. I get it. He's been good. I just like those other spots more. I like those guards in that Dallas-Atlanta game. I already talked about that Phoenix-Indy game and that Charlotte-Houston game. I don't think I can get up to a guy like SGA at 10-1, but he's always in consideration for a ceiling performance. My two favorite plays in this game by far, Herb Jones, CJ McCollum here, and then Brandon Ingram would be my third favorite if Zion were to miss here, which I do think. So overall, I do think you can pull some plays from that game. Let's talk about the last game of the slate here. And I think this is a pretty good game overall here. The reason I also can't get to a guy like SGA because I'd much rather play a guy like Donovan Mitchell here in this matchup against Milwaukee, where Milwaukee can't defend guards. Donovan Mitchell is going to start at the 1 likely. And then you got Giannis on the other side here at 11K, who's gone for 80+ back-to-back here. And he's 11K flat here now against Cleveland. He is probable to play in this game. Outside of that, the injury news in this one, Darius Garland remains out. Ty Jerome remains out. Evan Mobley remains out. Nobody else in this game has an injury designation. In a total 238, 6-point spread here. Milwaukee at home. Where are you going? Cleveland, Milwaukee.
What's going on with your Bucks, Nades? I mean, the team's, 30-13? They fired their coach. Something's fishy. Giannis coming out saying that he liked the coach, then they fired him. Hey, something's not adding up here, Nades. I'm not very smart, but 30-13, fire your coach first year. What's going on there, Nades?
Yeah, I mean, he was 30-13 due to the talent on his team. I don't know. We'll see what happens. They needed to fix their defensive issues. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on. I think they'll be fine personally. Now they got the revamped coaching staff here. Giannis will be fine. He'll suck it up. But go ahead and break down this game, sir.
I will. They got the uber talented Doc Rivers who can't get out of the first round of the playoffs. That was a great hire by them. Congrats to all the Bucks fans for making it to the first round of the playoffs this year. And you said it. I mean, talk about not wanting to play defense. Dame Time, the starter, NBA starter for the East over my guy Jalen Brunson. Doesn't want to play defense. Give me some Donovan Mitchell, especially over SGA tonight. Really love that call by you. I think he is firmly in play at 9.5. These two teams played the last time out, and Giannis went for 80. And the last time, they played Detroit back-to-back, he went 60 the first night, 80 the next night. Tonight may be the night Giannis gets 100 nades. I'm not going to have any slander on Giannis. I think he's a great play at 11,000 flat. Really like both of those plays. Two other Cavs I like, Jared Allen, 7,800, and Karis LeVert, who I played some Karis LeVert last time, and he did not do very well. I'm going back to the well tonight, 5.6. I think that's a great price for him, especially with no Darius Garland, with no Evan Mobley. Going to get some shots up. And then the one value piece I do want to talk about is going to be Isaac Okoro, $3,700. Has been starting pretty much all season. Small forward, power forward eligible. I like a lot of high price guys tonight, so got to find some value pieces. Okoro is one of them, and then Nades, I want to hear your take on Sam Merrill. That I see a lot of chatter in the chat about Sam Merrill. So I don't think I have interest, but interested to hear what you got to say about that.
Yeah, I believe Sam Merrill returning back home. If I'm not mistaken here, I do think actually no mistake. I'm mistaking him with another white guy. So sorry about that. But now Sam Merrill, I mean,
Tyler Hero?
Yeah, no. 5.4K Sam Merrill. I mean, I had him the other night when he against Orlando because he just fit my build as a last piece. Where he scored 36. He has been good. I mean, he's taken double-digit shot attempts and double-digit three-point attempts. I mean, if he continues to do that against a team that can't defend the three-point line, the only issue I have with it is he's 5'4", and he's only shooting guard eligible. It's just tough, man, for me. So I don't love a Sam Merrill play here, to be honest with you, due to the kind of roster construction, right? I like a lot of those guys that we talked about already. He's kind of in that mid tier, and shooting guard eligible only makes it a little tough here on the slate, but I do get the reasoning behind it. I'm definitely team Giannis tonight over Luka. I think the ownership's going to go the other way as well. You save $300 on a guy that has 90-point upside here in this matchup. I do love Giannis here in this spot. And I really like ping-ponging Donovan Mitchell here on the other end. Donovan Mitchell, Giannis going back and forth in this game. I do like both of them quite a bit here in this spot. In terms of the value plays, I don't think Dean Wade's the craziest value play on this slate. I think he's fine. I think I prefer Dean Wade personally over Okoro. Only thing you get with Okoro is you can play him at small forward, which does help a little bit. But Dean Wade, you save a little bit more money at 3.4K there. Dean Wade should play up mid-20s minutes as well. He's basically the same play as Okoro, in my opinion, for cheaper. So I do like Dean Wade here a little bit. But overall, I do think this game's pretty interesting. Definitely like Giannis a ton. I don't think Jared Allen's the worst play on the Cleveland side at 7-8 here. Should be a decent spot. And then I'm with you, Karis LeVert. I do like Karis LeVert quite a bit here. And you could do a little game stack here, a little D-Mitch, Karis LeVert, Giannis combo here to close it out. But overall, do like Giannis as my favorite stud of the night, and that's not even a biased take. I just think Giannis is going to outscore Luka here at significantly lower ownership tonight. Any final thoughts for the people here, Ham, before we get out of here for this Friday?
Yeah, just kind of looking over the slate as you were talking, I think it's going to be interesting. And there's a lot of obviously high price pieces and not a whole lot of value. I think we're waiting on obviously the Trae Young news is big, waiting on that to see if he plays. I like some of those Memphis pieces as my value. Hebrew made a good point that Kennard being out the other night was the reason that Scottie Pippen played so much. So if that's the case, don't really like Scottie as much as I did, but still like Conchar. Should be a good slate. It's one that I know, or I think you like. I know I like. It's compact. It's all within an hour. We don't have a 2-hour gap in between games. So looking forward to it. Some great contests. Hope we see some more SHIPIT Nation logos up at the top.
You want to give the people a play of the day before we get out of here? Bring a little Friday play of the day for the people here.
Yeah, Friday play of the day, and I'm on Team Newens. He said it earlier. We're on the same team. It feels like lately. Don't play Pippen, so I'm going to follow my guy Newens. He knows a lot. Plumlee value play, not for me, Lachlan, but my play of the day. I'm going back to Indy, and I'm going to get the right price on this guy at 9,300. He'll have 60-plus DraftKings points tonight. Devin Booker. Book it.
Well, I'm going back. All right, D-Book. I do like D-Book here. I'm going back to all the way up at the top of the board, the stud conversation here. I think Luka comes in close to 40% owned here. I think you get Giannis at sub 5% here. And I think Giannis makes it 3 straight of 80-plus DraftKings points here tonight. I love Giannis here at home with the new coaching staff. I think Giannis is going to come out and absolutely stick it to these Cleveland Cavaliers here. I like Donovan Mitchell on the other end. I think that game's going to pop off here tonight. And I think it's a criminal sin that you're getting Giannis sub 10% for sure, possibly even sub 5% here on this slate with everyone running to the window with Luka, with no Kyrie there for a good reason. It is a good matchup, good game environment here, but I think Giannis can outscore Luka here tonight. And you're going to give me 6 to 7 to 1 odds that that happens here with the ownership difference. I'll take my chances here. So I like Giannis quite a bit here. That's going to do it for this edition of the NBA show here on the Mayo Media Network. Again, if you guys are not members yet, head over to shipitnation.com, click on join now. Use that promo code Mayo, gets you 10% off for life, whatever package you do choose. Our guy Hebrew will have his slate plan. We'll have our core plays, myself, Hamwich, and Hebrew. We'll throw our core plays up there. We got our correlation rankings. We have our premium projections, which are crushing all season long so far. We got you covered with all sports. We got the divisional, the conference championship this weekend for NFL. We got the round 4 showdown coming up for PGA. We got everything covered over here. But that's going to do it for this edition. For Hamwich, I'm Nadesify. Good luck tonight in your contest. Hope to see those SHIPIT Nation logos at the top. Let's ship it.